Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Kyle Ron fans, no High Republic fans, nobody bursting at the seams that can't wait to see the acolyte. Just no nasty weirdos. All right, just a second. I'm gonna turn off the main light. Hi, Kojak. Okay. Little softer. Little softer. Okay. Anyway. What are we talking about today? Marvel. So Cameron got a message from one of his other subscribers about an article that showed up in Forbes.com. The woman that wrote the story about Lucasfilm not breaking even from a week or two ago, her name is Caroline Reed. I just did a video on this too, an upload. She wrote another article for Forbes. I think she's actually taking over for Scott Mendelson, who went to Puck. Like, what a great hire, Matt. Okay. So the article basically comes out of it's about basically Disney's bloated budget for the Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, and basically they actually what they reported in the British filings, because they made it in Britain. And I'm gonna go over to the Acolyte when I'm done, and probably Indiana Jones on the Dial of Destiny too. The budget that they reported in England was $100 million more than what was reported in the trades. So that means that they lost more money. Okay. It's basically you have to take advantage of British reporting requirements, and Caroline Reed looked into Disney's filings, tracked down their the shell company, and then she basically put everything together. Detective work is required to obtain the financial statements, as the companies often have code names to stop them from raising attention with fans when they file permits to shoot on location. Disney's subsidiary behind Quantumania was called Pym Productions 3, which is a nod to the Pym articles in Ant-Man's suit. Hey, I don't know who you are, but if you're here to troll, you're gonna have to leave, okay? So, just telling you right now there. So, the latest financial statements were lodged in December and covered the year ending December 31st, 2022, which was just over a month before the movie was released. Now, can you go fuck yourself? I'd rather not talk to anybody. There. Fuck you. There. All right, the filings reveal it's $326.6 million costs, which are staggering 63% higher than the estimate from Variety, which claimed that Quantumania had a production budget of $200 million. All right. It's also higher than Disney's own projections, as the financial statements reveal that at the end of the year, cost was forecasted to exceed the production budget. I mean, Kevin Feige hired Kathleen Kennedy to overlook the budget in this. You know, it's just, I mean, basically, It is a marked departure from the outlook the previous year, which said that the pandemic has had a limited impact on the company. Additional costs have been incurred as a result. However, it is still the intention of the company to complete the production within its agreed production schedule and within the agreed budgets. This rates like a Kathleen Kennedy, whatever, you know. I mean, it just what? So basically, you know, and you got to ask, Shang-Chi, was that as big was that a bomb, a bigger bomb than they wanted to say? The Marvels, which was just the idea of sitting in a 2-hour movie, watching that condescending smug bitch, Brie Larson, ugh, you know, what was it? The Eternals. I mean, that looked so stupid that I couldn't. I mean, I just no, no. I'm not no. Okay, so it appears that Disney has a habit of financial funny business. All right, well, let's go to the article. All right. I mean, so what else are they doing? What else are they doing? You know, what I mean, you know, you kind of ask yourself, if they didn't report the budget and even box office of the Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, they didn't report Shang-Chi right, then why would we believe them? All right, you have to look at it this way. If they're going to play the shell game, shell game, with the Ant-Man and the Wasp, why did they not play? Why would they not play the shell game with other ones, especially if they didn't do very well? Okay, now I'm going to tell you this: the movies like Avengers Endgame and the other ones that came before it, they made a total of over $4 billion, which Disney made about $2, which in of itself, when you think about it, really isn't that great, but at least they made money. Okay. Here, they're not, I mean, they didn't, look, Shang-Chi didn't make any money. The Eternals didn't make any money. The Marvels didn't make any money. The Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't make any money. Let's go to the other studios. Buzz Lightyear was a flapperoni. Okay, it's still flopping. Okay, why? Because they put woke shit in it, and no one wanted to take their kids to see it. Okay, then you go to Lucasfilm, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. When they started reporting who was going to be in the cast, people realized the woman who voiced Lando's girlfriend, Droid, in Solo was actually going to be the female part of the movie. Everybody got pissed. I mean, look, if you're going to put Phoebe Waller-Bridge in one of these, you're not going to get people to come. First off, she's not a draw. And she tends to drive people off. Okay? She tends to drive people off. And it's very, to me, it's very like mystifying as to why she would be hired. Okay? Because of that. I would think casting directors and executives would know that. Okay, we learned a lesson. If her voice is grating, and she's comes off as a smug, condescending bitch. We can't have her in this movie. She's unlikable. Okay. But there you go. That was already the problem. The second problem was, I'm going to give Doomy kudos here. When Doomcock basically opened up the waterworks opened up the floodgate on information about what Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was going to be, where it's a time travel, and it was time travel. They were looking for Archimedes' Antikythera device, which was supposed to be some sort of mathematical thing that it's hard to explain. And I don't have any of the information pulled up here. They're supposed to take that, the time travel. Indy decides he doesn't want to go back. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge shows up with a hat and a whip. And Indy's erased from history. They probably did film that. I do believe that. No one wanted that. Okay, enough is enough, Kathy. We know the Disney, DEI, and why are all the DEI people like directors at Disney and all the studios black women? I've yet to see a black man, an Asian man, a Latino man, or woman of the same in those positions. It's like, and they go by the whole thing of old, white, straight, old, pale, straight, stale. I mean, that's what they consider the characters that made the franchise. Indiana Jones, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. Okay, you can go on and on and on, and it has not paid off. Okay, it is, and the problem that Kathleen Kennedy has is, is she woke? I go back and forth on it because Cameron doesn't think she's woke. Cameron just thinks that she's who she is at the moment, like a politician. And the way she treated John Boyega and what they did to Moses Ingram, they didn't hire her because she was the best for the job. They hired her so they could piss off the fans because she's not a good actress. I don't care what anyone says. So instead of going, we can't let her. No. They let her keep the role. All right, and she did a lousy job. It's like, I don't care if you're chartreuse with purple spots. If you can't do a job, then you're not going to get the job. Okay, you've got to have hiring on merit. Hiring on what works. Rosario Dawson's great. Billy D. Williams is great. Samuel Jackson is great. Those were good casting. But hiring Moses Ingram was not good casting. I mean, look, some people can't act. There are white women out there that can't act. I've actresses that I never thought were good actresses. I mean, you could say things for somebody like Farrah Fawcett. You could say something for any of them. Okay. Morgan Brittany happens to be a friend of mine. She's a good actress, but she quit Hollywood because when they say Tinseltown, tinsel is fake. That should be the word that makes you go, oh, now I get it. Now I understand. Okay. But Kathy Kennedy used Moses Ingram to get PR for Kenobi. And to me, if you take everything out that's Reva, you've got a great TV show. But if you're one of those people who can't objectively watch a show and walk away going, I like this, I hated that. I mean, look, when I was a kid and a teenager, and we'd be watching miniseries like North and South. There were characters that you just there were actors and characters you hated. Philip Kasnoff in North and South, he played Bent, who was just a bad shit crazy nutcase. Elkanah Bent, the late great Kirstie Alley, great actress, really great actress, played Virgilia Hazard, and she was a freak. She was a fanatic and a freak. It was like an SJW before SJWs actually were a thing. All right. And I didn't like the character. Okay. But they were good in their roles. Now, when you're a kid, you find it hard to get past the character that an actor plays. Okay. So for the longest time, I couldn't stand Kirstie Alley. And I could not stand Philip Kasnoff. Just because you're a kid and you're like watching this going, I don't like him. He played blah, blah, blah. And, and like, I'm not a fan of Mark Hamill. I was never a fan of Luke Skywalker. All right. Again, my issue with him was that he's too pretty, even when I was 9 years old. He reminded me of every guy my sister Joan ever dated when she was going to high school. These pale-faced boys would show up and Dad would be going, first off, what are you doing with my little girl? Second of all, really, Joan, you could do better. I mean, and that's who he reminds me of. I've never gotten over that. Now, I don't care for his politics, but when you've got a good Star Wars script in front of him, and he has to play Luke Skywalker, then it's fine. Okay. And really, you kind of look at people like that and say, okay, fine, that's fine. Go be an old hippie over there for a while. Okay. I'm not talking to you. I mean, everybody's got nutbags like that in their family. Okay. They just do. But the problem again is that when Kennedy allowed John Boyega to be treated like a token, and why wouldn't she? He's a man. And she, has this white savior complex, but it doesn't go that far. When she's got a way to piss off the fans and make PR, why wouldn't she do that? Why wouldn't she use actors and actresses like that to get PR for her show? Look, again, if you take out all of the Reva stuff from Kenobi, it's a perfectly fine show. It's why I liked it. Because seeing Hayden Christensen as Vader, seeing the flashback scene with him and Obi-Wan sparring, it was awesome. It was unbelievable. Okay, it was great. That's what Kenobi is supposed to be. But instead we got pulled into this thing, and Moses Ingram ends up being a pawn. And it's like, I have a few friends who are like, when are people going to realize that the white female leftists use us as a cudgel to beat everybody else over the head? You're a racist. It's like, I've got a 2.5 minute staged panel with Leslie Headland sitting next to these two black female, I think they're movie producers, basically condescending to them. And it's like, you can't talk to them like that. Don't talk to people like that. Treat them like you treat anybody else. Okay, that's the problem. And that's been the problem. They didn't know what to do with Lando, so we got Pando Lando. And Billy D. Williams, some idiot on some podcast asked him about Lando being pansexual, and Billy D's like, I don't even know what the hell that is. I still don't know. Does that mean that somebody could be in love with this and desire this bag of Kleenex? How about my soda? Does that what that means? It's just, it's fucking stupid. But again, they pissed people off because they thought it was a good marketing strategy, and instead it backfired. Okay, it backfired bad. Okay, it basically, that movie Solo ran roughshod over the character of Han Solo and Lando. All right, did not need Phoebe Waller-Bridge in it anywhere fucking near it. All right, she's just a vile person. So you've got uh, these woke white women pretending to be woke, maybe pandering and abusing minorities. Okay, that's what was going on with Moses Ingram. You know, I think people are going to have to get over the idea that we didn't like her character because she's black. No, we didn't like her character because it's not a good character and the actress didn't do a good job. All right, that's the bottom line. Didn't do a good job. So then, all right, so we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, costing a hell of a lot more. $100 million is a lot of money. Okay. A hell of a lot more than was actually reported. And, it's not hard to extrapolate how that could be reflected from other projects. Again, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, The Marvels, let's see, Buzz Lightyear. Now, I think that was made all in the United States, so maybe not. Indiana Jones on the Dial of Destiny. All right, I don't know what the shell company was for that, but it was made, 2021 or 2022? Can't remember. And no, 2022. Yeah. Harrison Ford gets hurt. He did not separate his shoulder. I mean, when people are trying to say that, and then you start getting the reports that no, he didn't separate his shoulder. But they had to take a few weeks off. That costs the production money. Okay. That's money there. So up goes the budget. Then we've got the Kathleen Kennedy typical, let's see how much more we have to spend on reshoots. Because again, she's a terrible producer. And I mean, Harrison Ford himself was interviewed basically talking about how they had to reshoot the end because the end was what Doomcock said it was. Okay. And Bob Iger was like, you ain't doing that. No. I don't know if they actually had test audiences. Doomcock said they did. My opinion was the test audiences were the top executives and their families, and they were all like, this is horrible, you can't do this. And so the ending had to be redone. Okay, fine. And then nobody went to it. I was there at the first showing on Thursday when it got released. Found out that day, I'm literally in the car at the movie theater. Phone rings, it's Cameron, who's saying, Kennedy's email's been suspended at Lucasfilm on the servers. There are a bunch of guys, suits from Disney headquarters, and they're basically taking over. Okay, all right. Then the Monday after, apparently there was a meeting between Kennedy and Iger, Alan Bergman, Dana Walden, probably a massive amount of lawyers, where Kennedy every time Iger or somebody would say anything, she would turn it back around on Iger and blame him for things that are failing. What about Marvel? What about Pixar? You know, uh, basically alluding to the fact that she's getting picked on because she's a woman. Just think, Kathy, if you'd shut your mouth and gotten actual people who could, I don't know, direct and write movies, you know? So, anyway, Iger got pissed. She goes on vacation in France and then is denied access to the Lucasfilm campus. And apparently, later, like in August, I think, her office, or like, I think, no, last fall, her office at Lucasfilm was cleared out. Okay, so what's going on? And that's what Sparrow had told Cameron. Okay, great. We got that. So we've got her selling her house in Malibu. But when you look at everything that's happened, like I've got everything from Blue Stockings UK Limited. That's the shell company for the Acolyte. And let me go find, like, all right, not that one. All right, no, not that one either. Oh, all right, so it was, they had about 32,400,000 or pounds, British pounds, all right, which would be about $45-50 million for the Acolyte. You got to ask, where'd the money come from? This is how you hide money from people you don't want to be asking questions. This is also why Karen McCarthy got fired. Where'd this money come from? She would have found out they didn't have any of the, they didn't have the green light from Disney. She would have asked, why are we still making it then? Who's paying for this? Kennedy couldn't afford it. Okay, they basically did it. And I think this is actually just Kennedy and Hedlund and their little group of, with Rain Roberts and Candace Campos and Rhonda Hjort. I think that's who was behind it. Okay, that's who was the circle of trust, the cone of trust. Okay, and so you gotta ask, where'd the money come from? And this is, when I look at this, when I look at these numbers, it is unbelievable to me that they could get that much money. Now, granted, Kennedy did send money. There were monies sent to different places under her. It was basically her discretionary account. And fine, we know that's okay. However, that doesn't equal $50 million. So you're looking at this money, you're thinking, where'd this come from? You look at the fact that one of the actors in this is an MI6 PR stunt. He basically was doing stuff for MI6 over the lockdown in England. First off, you gotta ask, why is MI6 in this business? Unless they're just, I don't know, laundering money. I thought that they were a mechanism of the British Crown. They had a budget. Why would they get themselves into something like that? Especially this. But, this also gives tinfoil hats ammunition about, hey, the CIA, MK Ultra, which I'm not sure is real or not. Most people think it is. To me, when I hear it, because of who started talking about it and talked about Alex Jones and a lot of other, very shady, skeevy people, you kind of go, what? Thanks, Cross. You kind of go, maybe there is something to this. So if the CIA is involved in behavioral studies and using people like that, why wouldn't MI6 do that? You know, there are a lot of people who think Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad agent. Okay, I don't know about that. I think complicating things a little too much. It does happen occasionally, and it's got to be investigated to get all that. And before you start before you start believing shit like that. So they get this person. He says he's non-binary. He's tranny. So it's like, why? Fine. Why is this a big deal? All right. And that's already a signal that it's going to be woke as fuck. I mean, the lead actress is a BIPOC. She's non-binary, she says. Okay, well, I've got him too. And don't worry, Cross. And it's just really interesting to me. Like, I'm going to say this. I would say the money that Kennedy was able to give Hedlund for this thing probably could have amounted to $20 million. That's what she could have had in her discretionary account. I don't know. But the rest of it came from somewhere else. Now we've got an MI6 person involved. You kind of go, why are they doing this? Why is this so important? I mean, this is shady shit. What did Leslie Hedlund get people involved in? There's a reason why Jon Favreau won't talk about it. There's a reason why he got it off his hands. He don't want to touch it. Well, first off, because it's garbage. He said that, not me. And I'm running with it. And there you go. Now, again, we don't know where the money came from. Disney now has been proven to lie about budgets for movies. So was the Indiana Jones budget what they said it was it 323 million? Some horse shit like that. Okay. Probably a lot more. Okay, probably a lot more. Just gotta find the go to Government House and look for the corporation, the shell company. Anyway, and that's governmenthouse.uk, I think. And it's a royal. It's one of the king's institutions. Okay, so it's got the royal seal on it. Okay, so it's an official government entity. But I want to talk about something else. So, Doomy put out that Jon Favreau was leaving again. Cosmicbook.com, Matt McGloin, basically went on Doomy's, saw the video and then wrote a thing out about it. This will be the third time that Doomcock himself has reported that, and of course WDW Pro is doing the same thing, that Jon Favreau may be leaving because he's having fights with Dave Filoni, blah, blah, blah. First off, these guys are gearing up for Kennedy to leave. And they want Dave Filoni to be the new bad guy. That's what this is. They're setting it up so they can have a windmill to tilt with. They're a bunch of Don Quixote de la Manchas. Second of all, the whole idea is bullshit. Who else? I mean, you read the news, you see that Jon Favreau himself announced they were doing Mando and Grogu. They're not going to call it that. They can't. It might call it Thunder Alley. I'm not sure. He's also producing Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire. Okay, so we've got that. All right. What the fuck is hey Top Tech, is suddenly everybody losing their minds? Who in their right mind, when you know these movies are coming out, when Jon Favreau spoke on behalf of Lucasfilm, when Carl Weathers passed away, who the fuck would ever think that this was true? Jon Favreau's not going anywhere. Not going fucking anywhere. Doomcock knows that. Now he prefaces everything with, if this is a rumor, take it with a grain of salt. Hence, he can go, well, poo-poo it, right? Just poo-poo it. And it's like, stop the misinformation. I expect it from WDW Pro. I expect it from the Black Pill Blobs. Okay, the DK brothers, the Dunning-Kruger brothers. I do not expect it. Well, ever since last year, I do expect it from Doomcock, and he knows better. I mean, I know if it bleeds, it leads. And I know that making money on YouTube has gotten really hard. I don't ask for super chats. I don't do that. I did want to know, as an experiment, what it would be like to have a channel that was monetized without that. There's no money in it. I've discovered that there's no money in this. And what they've done is they've made it so you have to go live. You have to do super chats. You have to have the thank you button. All right. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, look, if you're so desperate for money that you got to make shit up, and that's exactly what this is. I mean, look, in my opinion, Doomcock is either being led down a path by somebody, or he made it up. Okay. All right. It's one or the other. Or, yeah, I mean, and I think he made it up. Honestly. But then, that's my feeling. Because Favreau's there. Okay. And, you're never going to hear him say out loud, why did Kathleen Kennedy sell that Showplace house in Malibu on the cliffs above the cove? Where has she been? Are we going to start playing Where's Waldo with her? She's persona non grata. Okay. And it comes from the fact that when she goes, these guys will really be up shit creek. Because look, you can sit there and say what you want about Dave Filoni. He's literally the least important guy you'd ever want to go after because he's not dramatic. He doesn't say anything publicly like Kennedy did. I mean, let's go get in the way back machine because this is funny. And Kathy. Okay, here. Where is she? Just a second. Let me find her. Nope. Not that one. Sorry, guys. Oh man, that hurt. That was rough. I've got a great video of her talking about, yeah, this one here.
Being made for quite a while that girls didn't care about Star Wars, or that girls weren't identifying with characters like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo. They were only identifying with Princess Leia.
I just, thank you. I mean, I think, Kim, that would be funny.
I think there was
That would really be funny. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why is this a big deal to her? Why, was it such a big deal that she had to destroy the three leads from the original trilogy in order to get what she wanted? Okay, oh, and I've got a question for you guys. I saw the trailer from that Star Wars put out about, I'll show you. I want to ask you guys if these two are cosplayers, just part guests, or if they're part of the cast. All right. So. Shut up, Ray. Shut the fuck up, Ray. Okay, there. So it's like, I'm like going, okay, I see cosplayers. Why do they still have Captain Phasma there? I don't know. But that was a really good Anakin Skywalker cosplay, if that's just a cosplayer. That was a really good, oh no, we don't. That was a really good cosplay for Anakin Skywalker. Padme Amidala. And I know that Ahsoka's out walking around amongst people. So I'm looking at that going, I have questions. Is Anakin Skywalker now part of that whole thing? Because this guy is good. I mean, this looks like a professional thing here. And of course, that. I mean, you got Padme Amidala, you've got Ahsoka, who's already in the parks. And it's like, I'm looking at it going, is Anakin Skywalker part of the cast now? Because if he is, that's a major league change. Now, I'm going to say they're cosplayers because I can't find anybody talking about Anakin being in the parks. I know Ahsoka is. But the Padme Amidala is the thing that makes me think those three characters are really, or two characters, Anakin and Padme, are in the parks. I mean, it's really, anyway, back to Favreau. So, when you've got someone saying, he's leaving, no, he's not. Stop saying that. I gotta say, this is me. If you've gotta go that far off the beaten path to make money, to get YouTube clicks. Because look, YouTube, people are making the money they used to. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not British. Who cares? Company's house. All right. Anyway, if you gotta make up shit or not vet your contacts, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you because you probably shouldn't say anything. You probably should say that's nice and not do a video. Okay, you know, I think people are learning a hard lesson in everything because look, you know, the big channels have stagnated in subscriptions. Okay, I mean, I've seen like Auntie Chef, who's Jamie's a great guy. I love him. And he takes a cookbook and like Julia Childs, and then tries to do the recipe on, and it's a very funny channel, and b you'll learn a lot about making the recipe properly. And he's kind of stagnated at like 300 and some odd thousand subscribers. Pasta Grammar has. So when you're looking at these guys, the big YouTubers, you're realizing that they're not getting the subscribers that they need, but what they need more eyes on the video. Okay, that's more important than anything. And as you know, I have my little corner. I don't give a shit. I would like to have more views, but I'm also not gonna demand people, and I'm not gonna make shit up. All right, I don't have time for that. And what I've discovered is that, first off, all the drama. You got Ethan Van Sciver, who uses his YouTube channel to make a little extra money and advertises his, all caps comics and Cyberfrog, and he helps other people with their independent projects. They get him involved in things. And then he mocks them and they get mad. And it's like, look, get a real get a real job. All right, just stop this. Because first off, I don't like people who don't or can't understand what an objective mind is. Like, I can walk in, sit down and watch Ahsoka and not be offended. All right, I don't, even if I hate Sabine. Even if I hate Sabine because she's a smug pain in the ass, and she should have just been a male character. And I don't like Harrison Dula, but I still like the show. All right, I can watch Kenobi and not like Reva because that whole thing, like I said before, that whole thing was using Moses Ingram as a token. The public outrage, and it took away from the show. Had they not said anything, had they just let everything be, maybe she would have gone over better with the audience. Okay, but she didn't because of the way she was treated. Okay, by Lucasfilm. Okay, I mean, look, the Kelly Mary Tran thing. That was staged by Jason Ward. Okay, I mean, that shit was staged by him to cause trouble. I mean, basically, it's called astroturfing. Look, I have a friend who lives in LA. Her husband's a very famous film director. Driving down the road, the 405, and somebody had hung a banner. It said something about white supremacy, and this is me. AstroTurf. That's AstroTurf. And you can bet your sweet Bippy, Antifa did it. Maybe BLM did it. Maybe the FBI did it. Okay, I mean, there's that meme, spot the feds. Okay, why would you automatically assume anything the government or the establishment tells you is real? All right, they're not going to. They don't. It is not in their best interest to give you the actual truth. Do you understand? Okay, I think you guys do. So, I mean, to me, uh, watching all this stuff go down, and I'm looking at Kennedy, and look, the girl that's playing the bad guy, Jedi murderer in Acolyte, she's been used. The only reason why she got the job is because she's of what she says she is. Okay, that's the only reason why. You look at pictures of her, and she looks about as intimidating as a chihuahua. I mean, Anakin Skywalker go, Luke could go with her, go away, shoot, shoot, shoot. Jaina Solo would be like, what is your deal? I mean, it's nonsense. And the only reason why she's got the job is what she says she is. Okay. Now, I think a lot of people there are people I've talked to that want something good to come out of the Acolyte. I think what the good thing is going to be people getting fired who should have been fired years ago. And Kathy Kennedy announcing her leaving. That she's leaving. Okay, that would be it. And that's it. I mean, that's what, that's the thing. Okay, and look, I'm gonna tell you this. When the Mando and Grogu movie was announced, the black pills from Minute's Edge all the way to Doomcock, they did not see that coming at all. And we'd been talking about a movie about The Mandalorian. So we knew something was being developed because Sparrow told Cameron, okay? And, it's going to involve the OG heroes a little bit, okay? In fact, if you are a fan of Han and Leia, you are going to have them in it. I'm pretty sure. I did not read the script. I would like to. But it's also not my business until I sit down to watch the movie. But I gotta say this. When people say stuff about Jon Favreau without the backing of someone like Cameron, Sparrow, all right, you gotta look at him and go, the only person that you actually knew in public that knew what was going on, you ran him off, all right? And we all know the drama. And yet we're all supposed to think you're telling the truth. Really? Okay, no. All right, and I got another bit of advice. If you don't want Ethan Van Sciver to run you into the ground, don't give him ammo to do it, okay? Because he is. I mean, he doesn't need them. I don't need them, okay? No one needs them, okay? And that's the bottom line. And they're gonna sit there, they're gonna make up shit about Jon Favreau because it makes them money, okay? And it's the only way that they can make money because their subscribers have stagnated, the views are going down, and, they rode the gravy train for as long as they could. And, you could see that anytime anything was good, Kenobi, they would have to say it broke canon, and it didn't break canon. It didn't at all. And it's like, what are you talking about? Have you ever seen Star Wars? No. Do you understand it? No. Okay. Ahsoka. It's like, but they want to hate it. They tell you to hate it, and then they expect you to spend your hard-earned money. And the economy's soft. People aren't able to whip out $10 for a super chat, which the YouTubers don't get all that money. they get half of it, I think, or 45% of it. So, you know, the other day, someone actually dropped $500 to Ethan Van Sciver. And I'm like going, how much is he actually going to get from that? I mean, your mouth just drops open. Those days are going away, okay? And Dave Filoni is not as good a subject of ridicule as Kennedy. I mean, they tried to get Filoni's wife involved. And it's like, she doesn't have anything to do with the day-to-day operations at Lucasfilm. So what if she helped write an episode of The Clone Wars? The Clone Wars is universally well respected, okay? So shut up. And again, if someone, George Lucas, I'm going to use him as an example. If somebody is a Democrat, but they're able to tell stories that everybody likes, Steven Spielberg too, act in movies that people like, Harrison Ford, why the fuck does it matter if they tell the story and keep their opinions about Ronald Reagan out of it? Okay, if they keep their opinions about Donald Trump out of it, okay? That's the question you've got to ask, is why does it matter, all right? And that's why when I think of Mark Hamill, I just look at him and go, if you were my brother, I'd tell you to shut the fuck up and go touch grass, okay? Because you're starting to go crazy. You're starting to bug me, okay? Anyway, I gotta go. Probably go see the horse. And see what Ms. K's up to. And I don't know what I'm gonna make for dinner, but I gotta make something. So you guys have a good afternoon. Anything happens, I will be back on later. Steph signing out. I'll see you guys around the galaxy.